it's me. I would love to show you the My Boyfriend Does My Makeup video that I spent an hour and a half recording yesterday, but unfortunately the memory card is fried, so there goes that idea. So, Happy Bucket update. I have 1, 2, 3 things in here now. We still need to decorate these guys. Let's get on this, guys. Let's have a Happy Bucket decorating day. I mean, really. This is pitiful. So what I think I'm going to talk about today is books, because I like books. This year I really haven't had time to read very much, and it was really bugging me, actually, and I finally caved because I was a bit stressed out and needed a break, and read one of my brother's favorite books, The Hunger Games. I had read the first one and hated it, and the second and third ones almost made me cry. But what I think I enjoyed most about reading those books was finally getting back into not reality. I mean, it's really easy to be stuck in reality because that's where we live. But I think we forget that we also have the possibility and the chance to read a book and go somewhere else. I missed it, and I'd like to encourage you guys to read a book again. So I think what I'm going to do is go through and kind of show you guys some of my favorite books and tell you why, because I can. So I have quite a spectrum of my favorite books. One of my favorite I guess philosophy books is The Great Forest by C.S. Lewis. I don't know if you guys have read this. I could basically swear by my life that anything C.S. Lewis writes is gold. I don't know what that man did. This book really has a really interesting perspective on the afterlife, and usually when you talk about the afterlife you get into the morbidness of what death means and why death means anything, but this really goes about a way of talking about death that doesn't make you feel uncomfortable. Although being uncomfortable is a large part of understanding why you feel about things. And in the same spectrum, I think you guys know about this book, about books that have to do with understanding death and mortality, is, of course, The Fault in Our Stars by the infamous John Green. And we, of course, went on the Fault in Our Stars tour, which was awesome because it was a bunch of nerds dressed up and celebrating being intellectuals, which I think was amazing. So this book, for one, just is heart-wrenching because of the storyline. You guys know why. And it's written very well. There's a few clunky parts in here that I didn't appreciate, but written very well and definitely worth a read, which I know you guys have already read it, but I'm going to read this again to try and keep going on my reading phase again. And then, of course, I live by this book. You guys know this one, I think. I've talked about it about a million times. It's Howl's Moving Castle by Deanna Wynne Jones. When I finally did the research to find out what her address was, I found out that she had passed away. But she was an amazing writer, a very quirky, very silly writer, which I think is something we are missing in our society today, is silliness, because when you're focusing on so many serious things, you lose sight of the gift of silliness. I think God gave us silliness. It's important. This is Serafina by Rachel Hartman. I believe this is her first book, actually. It's quite thick. I actually read this for the first time this summer. This book was really interesting because it dealt with dragons in a way that no one really has before, because usually what you do is you have a guy and then he figures out he has magical powers and then he can talk to dragons, and then suddenly you're flying with dragons, and that doesn't happen in this book. This is actually interesting. Merchant of Venice by the somewhat known William Shakespeare. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He's kind of a big deal in some places. This play. Please don't kill me, Miss Freeman. It's an amazing play, and if you guys haven't read it, I would definitely recommend it. Seriously, give this a read if you have the time. Jenna. There we go. Did some research on credit cards. Basically how it happened is, you know, they started credit at a general store, which was like, hey, I need some shoes, but I can't pay for it. Can I pay you in a month? And the guy said, sure. So basically that morphed into the first credit card, which then turned into our modern day credit card, which has to do a lot more with things I don't know about. Bye.